Spring Television. A busy world of sports. My name is Joseph. ATEWEH, good morning. And I am NENGI ERNEST Ademola. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. It's no longer news that the Super Falcons of Nigeria are out of the 9th edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup. We're definitely bringing you update on their arrival into Nigeria. And aside from that, other stories coming in from the world of unlimited sports. Take, for example, the Toronto Open, which is currently up and running. Andy Murray gets into the last 16 of that particular one. Carlos Alcaraz also making a winning start. The likes of Karolina Wozniacki, losing out on her very first match on her return to tennis. Well, all of this and more is what we're dishing out to you this morning. Welcome on board once again. All right, we start with the Super Falcons. They are already in Nigeria. They arrived in Nigeria, and that we understand at the moment after crashing out against the Lionesses. That's England. They have arrived in Nigeria. And of course, tweets have been pouring here and there. We saw that of Ashley Plumter thanking Nigerians for the support, and of course, the entire world for supporting the Super Falcons. And they also know they bowed out on a high, and they're super proud of what they did in Brisbane. And of course, the whole of Africa. You saw the tweets from the Ghanaians. Absolutely. You saw that from the South Africans, all tweeting about the Super Falcons. But then, after more than 10 hours on air, they're back to Nigeria. Well, let's give you details as a consent that were now some members of the Super Falcons to the 2023 Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand have arrived in the country following their elimination from the tournament against England on Monday. Just in case you have not been following, let's also give you highlights for that. Now, the Lionesses knocked Nigeria out 4-2 in a last 16 penalty shootout in Brisbane, with Chloe Kelly scoring the decisive spot kick after Desire Okbaranozie and Mitchell Alozie both missed for the Africans following a 0-0 draw over 120 trillion minutes. Now, the Punch learned some members of the squad had jetted off to different locations while the rest of the team booked their return home. And in a video shared on Super Falcons' Twitter handle, the players, including Rashida Tajibade, Osinachi Ohale, Tochukwu Oluehi, Gift Monday, Rofiat Imuran, and goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie, were apparently leaving their somber mood behind, showing signs of pride in themselves as they departed down under. Now, President Bola Tinubu has promised to host the team upon their arrival to the country. And led by American coach Randy Waldron, the Falcons made a good account of themselves in the showpiece after progressing unbeaten from their group that also included co-host Australia, Olympics champions Canada, and the Republic of Ireland. That is how it stands. And from what we're getting, we understand that some members of the Super Falcons are definitely arrived at the country, which is Nigeria. Now, still talking about the pride in themselves, let's also talk about Ashley Plumter. Joseph, she has been included in the best 11 for the round of 16. Yes, the VSN is reporting that Super Falcons defender Ashley Plumter has been named in the best 11 of the round of 16 for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Now, the best 11 was compiled by Popular Statistics, WhoScored.com. Now, Plumter put up a solid display as Randy Waldron's side exited the competition following a 4-2 penalty shootout, while a defeat to the 3 Lionesses of England. Now, the 24-year-old won a massive 11 area duels, made 3 tackles, completed 3 dribbles, and also hit the woodwork once in the thrilling contest. Now, the former Leicester City player featured in all Nigeria's 4 games in the competition, and that is what we have on the screen. Yeah, absolutely. The rest of the starting 11 involves Zecira Musovic from Sweden, Ellie Carpenter from Australia, Jess Carter from England, Alex Greenwood also from England, Aitana Bonmati, Spain, Andy Sullivan, USA, Eugene Le Sommer from France, Kenza Dali also representing France. We also have Khadija Tudiane, France, and Salma Paraliolo from Spain, and also all of these players, of course, made the team for the round of 16 best 11 that's been displayed on your screen. And of course, it's a good thing that we have at least one Nigerian also up there, Ashley Plumter. Of course, I remember the woodwork, I think in the game between England and the Super Falcons of Nigeria. That was our very second round to be able to make us count, to be able to get a goal, but then it hit the woodwork, and I think it was a very nice performance from Ashley Plumter. A whole lot of people talking about the performance so far in the 9th edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup, but we do hope to see better when it comes in the next 4 or 8 years. And now let's move to the House of Representatives, where we know that the House Committee on Sport has invited the head of the Nigerian Football Federation to come and explain to the Federal House of Representatives why Nigerian name is being mentioned for the wrong reasons at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Now, the two Africans put up a spectacular performance at the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup, but then the House Committee on Sports is bothered and had to invite the Federation to explain the reason these players have not been paid since 2021. The invitation, which is scheduled for Tuesday, is to find a lasting solution into the lingering backlogs of unpaid bonuses of the national teams. You know, Joseph, yesterday we just talked about the news where FIFPro, of course, been involved personally with the Super Falcons over unpaid bonuses dating back to 2021. We brought that update, and of course, a reply from the NFF talking about the fact that it's just a storm in a teacup, talking about the fact that FIFPro are blabbing here and there concerning unpaid bonuses. But I think this would be a better way. They definitely need to be summoned. And I think even before the FIFA Women's World Cup kick-started, I think the House of Representatives also summoned them, talking about the fact that the players were planning to boycott their very first match before captain of the team, Onome Ebi, came out to dispose that away and debunk that rumor. And that was how it ended. But this time around, we understand the fact that the girls have reported FIFPro is on the matter down to the NFF. And right now, the House of Representatives have summoned them to know and for them to explain themselves better. But we'll see how things pans out to be. Fingers crossed. Well, fingers rather crossed, that's it at the moment. Now, let's talk about ATEWEH Comets. And they've unveiled a new coach, and they are ready for the new season. We know that should be kickstarting very soon. Nengi. That's for the NNL. Now, ATEWEH Comets Football Club of Umuahia on Tuesday unveiled former ATEWEH Warriors assistant coach Kelvin Eje as its new head coach. Now, this is preparation of new Nigerian National League season. Eje, popularly called Morio by his admirers, only last week resigned his appointment as the assistant coach of ATEWEH Warriors FC. And as popularly as he is called, Morio, who signed a 2-year contract with the NNL side, will aim at tinkering the team to prominence in the new season. Now, the former Nigerian Army officer is coming to ATEWEH Comet with huge experience, having worked as assistant coach after serving as a coach of the ATEWEH Warriors youth team for many years. Last season, he assisted coach Erasmus Onu to finish the Umuahia Warriors to a 4th place in the Group B of the 2023 NPFL season. Well, good luck to ATEWEH Comets. Let's see if they can be able to gain promotion out of the NNL down to where the big boys belong. That's Nigerian Premier Football League. And away from that, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, the inspection officials on Wednesday assessed facilities at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja ahead of the 2027 African Cup of Nations joint bid from Nigeria and Benin Republic. Now, the team of officials from CAF headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, were accompanied by officials of the Nigerian Football Federation and conducted preliminary inspection of the main pitch, the practice pitches, players and referees' rooms, control room, and jumbotron screen around the main bowl after previous visits to the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City and the Nest of Champions in Akwa Ibom State. Nigeria is aiming to co-host the Continental Showpiece with Benin Republic after co-hosting the 2000 edition of the tournament with Ghana. Well, that is how it stands. Recall yesterday and day before yesterday, we brought you news about CAF delegates visiting the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium and also one of the stadium in Akwa Ibom. And just like I rightly stated yesterday, I believe we should be getting a nod from CAF to be able to co-host when it comes to 2027 AFCON. Yeah, it's long overdue. I mean, you heard what the BSN is reporting. We last hosted or co-hosted in 2000 with Ghana. And that's 23 years ago. We've seen competitions, and sometimes I wonder why Nigeria is not hosting competitions like this. We were in Cameroon, which we covered, and the stadiums, the stadium where Nigeria played in Garoua is not as fine as what you have. Even the Lake Salami Stadium is finer. So you have 3 or 4 of these stadiums. Now the Moshood Abiola Stadium should pass. The Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium should pass. We spoke about the Nest of Champions. Should also pass. They will also be visiting the Lake Salami Stadium. That's 4 stadiums. And there's also one in Lagos. In Port Harcourt also, so I mean, they should get the nod to co-host with Benin Republic. And if you're co-hosting, I think you need 4 or 5 stadiums, standard stadiums, you know, to get the job done. But then the cities also matter. CAF will also look at, because if you look at what happened in Cameroon, many of the matches were not played in the North region because there was crisis at that point. And they had better stadiums in the North. So the region also matters. And you and I, we agree that to an extent we're still battling insurgency. And this is something. So I'm looking at Lagos. Lagos will be safe. Akwa Ibom, I don't think there's a problem. Benin City, no problem. What's the other one now? Port Harcourt and Abuja. So Nigeria should get it. Absolutely, they should be able to get that one and get a nod from the CAF delegates. That is how it stands for that. Now let's move away from that one and talk about the fact that CAF has unveiled Nigeria and 45 others for the 2024 CHAN qualifiers. Now, African Soccer Ruling Body has officially released a list of countries that will participate in the qualifiers of the 2024 Championship of African Nations, otherwise known as CHAN. The countries were released according to their region, and Nigeria was listed in the WAFU B zone alongside 6 other countries. Egypt is one notable country that will not participate after they pulled out, and Tunisia is making a comeback into the competition as well. Now, according to CAF, 8 nations will take part in the qualifications in the WAFU A zone, 7 in WAFU B, 7 in UNIFAC, 11 in COSAFA, 9 in CESAFA, and finally 4 in the UNAF region. Now, the first leg matches will be played on September 22nd and 24th. 2023, and the return matches on October 6th and 8th. And just to also let you know that the second round will be played also on December 15th and 17th for the first leg, and on December 22nd and 24th for the return leg. And finally, the dates chosen for the third and final round are March 8th and 10th, 2024. That's the outward leg. And March 15 and 17 for 2024. That's the return leg. And Nigeria failed to qualify and participate in the last 2 consecutive CHAN finals. But we do hope that we are going to get better in these qualifiers. Well, that's it. And we also know that what's them right now? As it concerns CAF Champions League, yeah. And we're all rooting for Bendel Insurance. We know how well they played last season and how important it will be if we have a representative make it to the group stage proper. Don't forget, this is the preliminary round. They have to go through two rounds before you get into the group stage proper, and that is what we have at the moment. So we wish them all the best. And just to give you further updates on that, we understand the African Apex Football Body has assigned Togo referee Akleso Nama as the man in the center for the Confederation Cup preliminary round match involving former champions Bendel Insurance of Benin and Association Sportive Olympiques de Chef of Algeria, rather. All right, that's it from the local scene here. We need to go on a break and give you highlights from matches played yesterday. Don't forget that the 9th edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup continues. And we also know that from tomorrow, one of the biggest leagues in the world, the Premier League, kick starts. We can't wait. But the highlights from some of the matches I played yesterday will be back.